Welcome to Soul Calibur 4, brought to you by Rocket Rabbit Commentaries, on the Rocket Rabbit profile, on Xbox 360, a game system long since disconnected from the internet. And now we commence the fourth installment by Bandai Namco Games, A Tale of Souls and Swords. When Havoc sends us another Game 4.
And Cryware, because Cryware does like all the audio production of pretty much like every video game that's been released in the past 20 years has had Cryware audio production in it. That or Dolby Digital.
Yeah, I was going to say Dolby Digital has like monopolized the market for like 50 years now.
So that's supposed to be Raphael, or is that Maxim?
It looks like Maxim.
Okay.
I think his name is like Algol or something. Soul Calibur, a game about power, the quest for power,
and swords,
the defeat of power, the exploitation of power. Are you after Soul Calibur, or are you after Soul Edge? You're gonna have to beat up some fools in order to find out. Following the events of Soul Calibur 3, the game that came right before this.
So who was the one that pried Soul Edge from Nightmare?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I stopped following Soul Calibur after Soul Calibur 2.
Oh.
I mean, even then, what Soul Calibur does is that it sets the stage for all these characters to have their own story. It's up to you, the player, to explore these stories, but all of them,
Ivy.
Each and every single one of them, especially scantily clad Ivy, gets their own unique and totally plausible story. However,
Hi, Astaroth.
You would have to play these stories in isolation because they are mutually exclusive.
Hey, Yoda.
Introducing, as a cameo character,
we even get a Star Wars sting for Yoda. Nice.
And we also get to play as the apprentice. So you get not just one, but two Star Wars characters to play as.
Okay.
Whoop.
Now, I could have swore it was actually Yoda and Vader that were the guest Star Wars characters for Soul Calibur 4.
Right, and just as Darth Vader is the quintessential representative of the dark side of the Force, yes, the apprentice is the dark side counterpart to Yoda on the light side.
Okay. Hey, Nightmare.
He has a mouth for a chest.
So, from what I can recall, the story for Soul Calibur 4 is mostly the story about Siegfried breaking free of Soul Edge's control using Soul Calibur itself.
Oh, there is a lore for this game. You can go into the museum and unlock each of the character profiles in order to piece together what is going on here.
2008.
Oh, we're going back, baby.
This game is 17 years old now, Mr. Cloud.
As of the recording of this episode, yes, you would be correct. It's a brand new day.
The start of a new era.
Don't you just love it when games give you an achievement as soon as you start playing?
Sometimes. I mean, this was 2008 where achievements were, being handed out like candy, so.
That they want you to...
You're not going to spend your 20,000 gold first?
No, because at this point in the game, as dramatically Past Cloud is just booting up this game for the very first time, I have some idea as to what money is used for, like buying characters and buying weapons and stuff. But what are these game modes?
Well, story is the overall story events for Soul Calibur 4. Tower of Lost Souls is the challenge tower. Arcade mode is everyone's individual arcade ladder. And training allows you to learn how the fuck to play characters. Hey, Keely.
I find that training mode although useful because it sets you up against an AI opponent that doesn't fight back if you so desire, it's a tad redundant because I actually ended up doing most of my learning how to play Soul Calibur 4 by doing the non-trading modes.
All right, so we're gonna do training with Yoda
versus
either so full random.
Give me an opponent.
Corridor of Suspended Time. This is actually an arena from Soul Calibur 2.
Nice.
Hey, Siegfried. I am actually a big fan of how Siegfried controls in most of the Soul Calibur games.
Get me by my side. You should not. You could never understand. Training, start.
All right. So, Soul Calibur is... It's technically a 3-attack button game where you have vertical slash, horizontal slash, and kick, and you also have a guard button that you can use in order to, very specifically, do lots of stuff. Training mode is mostly for you to practice combos.
Yes, combo practicing. What constitutes a combo in Soul Calibur 4 is that just like in Bloodborne or Dark Souls, if you do certain attacks following other attacks, then it will cause you to do other actions other than just doing those same button actions in isolation.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so now... Oh, you did it unlockable. Well, actually, that's not an unlockable, that's a power move, right?
It's kind of hard to tell at this point. I mean, so, horizontal attack, yes. Vertical attack, yes. Thrust, kick, grab, all of these and more, as each character has at least some version of each of these attacks.
So what does the swing kick actually look like for him?
Let's see. Oh, I guess we're not going to see.
Oh, it's relatively slow, but it gives you a shitload of stun. So afterwards, you can charge up and attempt to either press your advantage or reset to neutral.
That kick is a little on the slow side, though.
It is.
In this game, unlike Mortal Kombat, a fighting game that we have done for Rocker Rabbit Commentaries, there is also an alternate win condition called Ring Out. Because observe that this arena that we're in right now, although randomly selected, does not have guardrails on the edge of the arena. You can knock your opponent out of the ring in order to cause an instant KO. What Past Cloud is doing is just getting a grasp of the basic controls because it has been several years since Past Cloud has played any Soul Calibur games at all.
Okay. And apparently you're having trouble figuring out that A and B is both horizontal and vertical attack button at the same time.
Quite. Please, I would like to spend more time with your buttocks.
There you go.
Nice. Oh, we're making things happen already.
Mind you, I find that for most characters, using the combination combos ends up being very risky because, as you'll notice, Yoda actually has a decent amount of wind-up going into that. It looks relatively fast, but the wind-up can be interrupted by anyone that's got a decently fast either a decently fast kick or a decently fast vertical attack.
Yeah, you'll be spending a lot of time either trying to plan your combos to get lots of damage in one series, or you'll be on the recovery end and just trying to guard for dear life so that you can get your bearings and then do a quick attack in order to open your opponent up to subsequent attacks.
Right.
Soul Calibur 4.
You see, what I always use training mode for in Soul Calibur is actually showing off or seeing each of the different throws, because as of Soul Calibur 2, your throws are actually you get different throws based on what position your opponent is in when you attempt to throw them.
That is true, that you will get different kinds of throws that have different amounts of damage and also duration of activity. You especially want to know how long it takes for you to do certain attacks because you can also get a timeout, and in the event of a timeout, you'll either get a game over if you're in a Tower of Lost Souls situation, or arcade mode is also... Actually, I think in arcade mode, you do get a win as long as you have more health than your opponent when time is up.
Yep.
Soul Calibur 4 also has a critical stagger status called Soul Crush. You might have noticed that as I was beating up my CPU dummy Siegfried, that some of his equipment was falling off. That is going to be crucial to opening up your opponent to a Soul Crush critical hit. In Tower of Lost Souls, admittedly, it's a win condition that I have not yet done. Like, in the entirety of playing Tower of Lost Souls, although they tell you it's a thing. They want you to hit your opponent repeatedly in the same area until the equipment falls off. And then that green glowing jewel on the far side of their health bar starts to flash red, along with the rest of their health bar. When it starts flashing red, that means that you've caught your opponent in Soul Crush, in which case you're supposed to press a specific button command in order to do a Soul Crush finisher to end the match.
So, you've got, the first level of pauldrons down.
You would have to be going up a real dunce in order to find an opponent who will just accept attacks in the same area over and over again, because CPU characters do eventually get wise. If you keep hitting low, they're going to start guarding low. Same is true if you keep hitting high or mid.
So the weird thing here is that I think you're actually supposed to break off all the different parts of their body in order to unlock Soul Crush, because you keep hitting high and his chest plate is not actually breaking any further. Whereas I don't think you've hit him low at all yet, and he still has his greaves on. You ringed yourself out in training mode.
Yeah, you can do that. I do like also that in Soul Calibur games, just like it was in Soul Calibur 2, that if you ring out your opponent and then you fall out of the arena yourself because of happenstance or because you felt like being cheeky, that you do not get a ring out yourself. In the next part, we're going to start arcade mode proper and carry on to be one with the Force.